bird to breathe, but not that bad. So, like I say, nuclear, biological, chemical, and radiological masks, they exist. They're very, very, very pricey. But unless you're covered from head to toe and you know it's coming, you know, buying a gas mask, I bought this more out of an enthusiast thing that could serve me in a purpose of disaster, but it probably will not. You probably, especially with nerve agents and stuff like that, like VX gas, by the time you realize you've been hit by VX gas, you're already dead, and very painfully. The stuff works very fast. So unless you have some sort of a warning system, you're not going to know it's there. So if you can't put this thing on in time, then it's not really going to save you now, is it? So that's just some of the reality. I'm not saying, well, don't waste your money on a gas mask. They're good if you know what's coming at you, you know. But on the other hand, nuclear, radiological, biological, and chemical warfare, you got to know what your masks are rated for. These Israeli M15 masks are rated for just about everything but radiological, I think, depending on the filter and depending on the years these were made. I don't know the origins of this mask, how old it actually is. These filters seem to be from the 90s. So hopefully there's no asbestos in this filter. I've been wearing it now for an hour, or sorry, half an hour, making this video. So I really hope you guys can hear me, because I don't want to have to do this all again and have to take it off. This is more dramatic. Like, Luke, I'm your father. You know, okay. As far as the little bit of steam that's there, condensation, again, I haven't shaved, so if you haven't seen the first video, that's probably air getting in. So if you're going to have one of these, like I said, keep it in a kit, ready to go, okay? But keep a thing of water, a razor blade, a mirror, and some shaving cream, because you know how painful it is to dry shave, right? So filters, I'll have to do special series on filters and stuff like that, and the mask itself. As I get it all set up, it's fairly comfortable. You know, it needs a little bit of tweaking. I'm good here. I'm good here. Things to worry. Are there health issues with gas masks? That's another. I don't see a lot of topics on that. One last thing I'll cover before I get into, you know, do's and don'ts of gas masks. I'm not an expert on this, so I tend to learn through experience. Not that I ever want to experience chemical warfare. Don't make no mistakes. But for example, the last thing I'll cover is biological. Ebola virus, H1N1. Some of these military gas masks are not rated for that. You have to have a different type of filter, but the particles are different from radiological, nuclear, biological, and chemical. The other particles are bigger. For example, forest fire, the particles are really big. So you need a different type of filter or it just clogs up on you. Filters will have a time limit. You know, you might get an hour with mustard gas. You might get 45 minutes with VX gas. You'll have to go on some mask sites to find that out. I guess I could kind of leave it there, but health issues. Cleaning your mask so that you don't get rashes. Adjusting your mask properly so that it's not kind of falling down on you. This is not too bad. I'm good here. I just got to get that. You see, I'm a little too loose there. Once I get that set up, I think I'll be okay. And you can't really adjust it while you have it on, it seems. These, no problem, you just grab, and there's two little tabs here. Don't yank. This is like a fish mask. Don't yank it. Make it comfortable. Don't over pull it, because you can pull these things apart, you know. And if you're, considering what it's meant for, you want to, make sure that you don't do that. Pneumonia. People wearing gas masks can get pneumonia. Especially if there's a lot of condensation. There's not too much condensation right now. Like, it's dry there. A little bit, because that's the exhaust tube underneath here. Hopefully you guys can see that. The visibility of this thing is actually not bad. Past here. I feel like I'm a pig up here, like wink wink. Yeah, so shooting a rifle, well, I'm going to have to do some tests there. The filters, to leave a filter on it open and exposed, apparently the charcoal will deteriorate. This is going to be my training filter, and I will keep putting on a tab, and then eventually I'll open up this filter, take everything out of it, and it's just more for the get used to it. And eventually as I buy new filters, I got a couple of filters with this mask that I bought. The filters all seem to be from the 90s, so hopefully they're okay. From what I've read, the Israeli M15 masks from 2006 up are rated for nuclear. Again, just if you're just buying the mask, it's not going to be enough. But these ones here, I don't know if this is a 90s mask. There was, I didn't get a lot of info with the mask, which is common with surplus stuff. And I bought it at Hero Army Surplus in Ontario. I did it through mail order or whatever. And yeah, so it's like, so we need to know what the health risks are for the masks by prolong wearing them. It's one of those things, for example, you're going to have to learn how to wear it. And that's exactly what I said, is learn how to wear it. So it's adjusted, so when you put it on, you don't have to readjust it, which I'm finding out right now. But I just got this thing home like less than an hour ago. The other thing is that you're going to have to learn how to use it, breathing with it on. I mean, I'm doing nothing right now, and it's a little bit labor, but trust me, this is going to be a little bit labor for you. You have to build up that tolerance, but you also have to maintain this thing so that you don't end up getting, pneumonia or some sort of a rash or whatever, because, it is, sitting on your skin. So you have to be able to, adjust things. Again, with my beard, I'm not too worried about it right now for the making of this video. But eventually, I want to get everything all adjusted right and all that. I don't know how much else I can cover on buying a gas mask, but I think a forest fire is probably, or a house fire or forest fire is probably the two most likely things that you're going to have happen, And if that did happen, maybe one of these could save you for a very, fairly inexpensive, purchase. So, I guess I'll leave it at that. I don't think I've touched on anything too offensive. I thought I was going to be a lot more graphic in my descriptions and stuff like that, but that's okay. But what I will tell you is a caution of warning: if you do look into, chemical warfare, and the whole purpose of buying a mask is to protect yourself against really, really bad things, the things that nightmares are scared of. And I just want to make it sure that, don't have little kids around when you're looking at that stuff, because when you see these victims, it's disturbing, The fact that human beings can do that to each other is just, I don't even know what to say to that, But to have a chance against it, you're going to find researching gas masks. I did a little bit of research, and this is the mask that I kept coming back to because it is still in service today, the M15 Israeli mask. There's also the civilian mask, which is the same mask, but it doesn't have the voice emitter. It doesn't have as big a, lenses, stuff like that. A lot of people recommend this mask. It's had a lot of trial and error. The design, I don't think, has changed too much. Give you a side view. But, do your homework, but understand what you are buying, and those are some of the things to consider. So if I didn't get all the terminologies right, or all the names right, well, I burped. Burping in a gas mask. But if I didn't get everything right, look into it. Look into what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, and then you can make your conclusion from there which mask will be the best for you. But bang for the buck, I mean, this thing was about 60, 70 bucks or something like that, and then the filters were like about an extra 15 bucks. That said, it's a 40 millimeter. I'll do a separate review on this, but it's a 40 millimeter standard filter, so you can get filters for these, quite a few places. Has a drinking tube, has all that. So there's, it's a pretty good mask for the money. But again, if you're expecting this to be the mask of Vulcan and protect you from everything, well, then you don't understand what you're getting yourself into. I'd rather have it than not have it, but I understand its limitations so that you're not lured into a false sense of security. I don't know what else I could really add to it. I'll do a separate review on this after I've worn it for a while. I've been wearing it almost 45 minutes now, and it's still pretty comfortable, but I got to adjust the strap a bit more. Like up here, I got a good seal up here. That's, when you're... so it's not too bad. Yeah, so I'll do more on the mask later on, but I just wanted to cover, why do you buy a mask? I say forest fires and house fires are probably the best, but, other things can happen too, and it's a good idea to look into them, but if you're going to look into them, like I say, word of caution, it is quite disturbing to see. So anyway, to take it off, there's little tabs, and you bring it out as much as you can. So, there you go. So, yeah, see, I didn't have the top strap quite, I got a little bit of a, but I'll, yeah. my Israeli M15 mask. Hope you enjoyed the review, or not review, but the I don't even know what to call this one. One thing I've heard about wearing gas masks and stuff like that is you can catch colds and stuff like that, and I think I'm already starting a little bit of a cold. I don't usually catch too many colds, but I was a little clogged up. Anyway, so look into the filters. Hopefully there's no asbestos in there. You know, everything that's supposed to save you doesn't. So look into the filters, look into the types of masks. Give you a little bit of a, it's not too wet in there. How to maintain the mask. There's something else that I'm going to have to look into. Wiping it down, keeping it clean, but watch what you put on it, because rubber can be, you know, if you use like, you know, alcohol and stuff like that, it'll clean it, but it'll dry out the rubber, you know what I'm saying? You know, get everything all over here. You know, that quick military style, pull it over your head, no fuss, no muss. I haven't quite mastered that yet. So you can see the diaphragm in there. You can see the drinking tube, which I didn't set up yet. But that's the, I don't know if you guys can see that. Look, right in there. So there's a little bit of condensation in there. So I'm going to have to wipe this out. So that's the drinking tube. Okay. And you can see how all this stuff is going to have to be aired out. And there's definitely a lot of moisture down there. Condensation. Which you wouldn't expect anything other, you know, no different. You know, like you wouldn't expect it not to be. So, very comfortable. I will have to shave. So maybe the next time I do the review of it, I'll shave. See if any water comes out here. Filter doesn't look too bad. See, there's a little bit of a diaphragm in there. Okay, so my light's starting to fade. There's a drinking tube that comes off like so. And I'll put the tube in later. Again, I'll do a full review of this as I get used to it and can actually do something impressive with it, so that you guys are looking at it and say, hey, this guy knows his stuff. Right now, I'm a noob. So, but this is a mask that a lot of people have been recommending. But again, I don't want people to have a false sense of security. I don't want people to think that they're going to put this on and it's going to save them from just anything and everything. If you don't have a full suit, you know, it's not going to do much for you. But if you do have this, you want to know what the filter's rated for. You want to know what its, you know, what its capabilities are, how long it's rated for. For example, if it's for nerve gas, or you know, you might get 8 hours of time on a filter like this for, say, regular CX gas. You know, basically, you know, tear gas. But then again, you might only get like 15 minutes of, you know, certain biological or radiologicals. You know, so. There we go. And then from the top, I'm going to go in and I'm going to give this thing a really good cleaning. And then the strap. So let's see what the strap looks like. So that's what's going on here. And you leave these little tabs here. I don't know if you can see it good. But these little tabs here, you can just, there's like a little, here, the knurling. But you open them all the way up like that, and you just pull them tight after. The only strap that I think you leave completely set up for you, and gas masks are, you know, they're not like underwear, not one size fits all. You know what I mean? Like it's these are going to be set up for you. Right now, this is a little bit on the loose side. Means the gas mask, you know, wasn't getting supported enough up top here. So I'll have to work on that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video, and rate, subscribe, put it to your Facebook, and look into it, because there's a lots to know. So I'm sitting here. It's a little bit labored to breathe, but not that bad. So like I say, nuclear, biological, chemical, and radiological masks, they exist. They're very, very, very pricey. But unless you're covered from head to toe and you know it's coming, you know, buying a gas mask, I bought this more out of an enthusiast thing that could serve me in a purpose of disaster, but it probably will not. You probably, especially with nerve agents and stuff like that, like VX gas, by the time you realize you've been hit by VX gas, you're already dead, and very painfully. The stuff works very fast. So unless you have some sort of a warning system, you're not going to know it's there. So if you can't put this thing on in time, then it's not really going to save you now, is it? So that's just some of the reality. I'm not saying, well, don't waste your money on a gas mask. They're good if you know what's coming at you, you know. But on the other hand, nuclear, radiological, biological, and chemical warfare, you got to know what your masks are rated for. These Israeli M15 masks are rated for just about everything but radiological, I think, depending on the filter and depending on the years these were made. I don't know the origins of this mask, how old it actually is. These filters seem to be from the 90s. So hopefully there's no asbestos in this filter. I've been wearing it now for an hour, or sorry, half an hour, making this video. So I really hope you guys can hear me, because I don't want to have to do this all again and have to take it off. This is more dramatic. Like, Luke, I'm your father. You know, okay. As far as the little bit of steam that's there, condensation, again, I haven't shaved, so if you haven't seen the first video, that's probably air getting in. So if you're going to have one of these, like I said, keep it in a kit, ready to go, okay? But keep a thing of water, a razor blade, a mirror, and some shaving cream, because you know how painful it is to dry shave, right? So filters, I'll have to do special